Do you have any favorite hobbies?
Yeah, I really enjoy painting. It's so relaxing.
That's great. I'm into cooking myself. What do you like about painting?
Painting lets me express myself, you know. It's like a way to show my feelings.
I get that. Cooking for me is a way to be creative. How did you get started with painting?
Well, it all began when I was a kid. I used to do simple drawings, and it just evolved from there. How about you? How did you get into cooking?
I learned to cook from my grandma. She used to make the most delicious dishes, and I wanted to learn her secrets.
That's sweet. So, what's your favorite thing to cook?
Oh, I make a mean lasagna. It's my signature dish, you could say. What about your favorite color to paint with?
I absolutely adore using different shades of blue in my paintings. It's such a calming color. And what's your secret to that famous lasagna of yours?
Well, it's all about the homemade sauce. A good sauce can make or break a lasagna, you know? Do you paint with oils or watercolors?
I'm more of a watercolor person. They're easier for me to work with.
What inspires your paintings?
Nature is a big inspiration for me. I love to capture the beauty of landscapes and the emotions they evoke. What inspires your cooking?
I draw inspiration from different cuisines around the world. Trying to recreate those flavors is like a culinary adventure. Have you ever thought about selling your artwork?
Well, not yet, but I hope to someday. It's a dream of mine. Do you often cook for friends or family?
Yeah, I actually love hosting dinner parties. It's a great way to share my passion for cooking. Do you have a favorite painting that you've done?
I once painted a serene beach scene during a vacation. It's probably my proudest piece. How about you? Any dish that stands out as your favorite?
People seem to love my chicken Alfredo. It's always a hit. What's your favorite subject to paint?
I'm a big fan of painting flowers and sunsets. They're so beautiful and calming. And you, what's your favorite dish to prepare?
I really enjoy making spaghetti carbonara. It's a classic Italian dish, and I find it so satisfying to make. Have you ever taken any art classes?
No, I'm actually self-taught. I've learned through practice and experimenting. How about you? Any culinary training?
I've taken a few cooking classes here and there, but most of what I know is from experience and family recipes. What's your favorite art tool or supply?
I'd say my watercolor brushes. They're like an extension of my hand when I'm painting. And in the kitchen, what's your must-have tool?
A good chef's knife. It's essential for precision in cooking. Do you listen to music while you paint?
Absolutely. Music helps set the mood for my creative process. How about you? Do you play any tunes while you cook?
Yeah, I always have some music on in the background. It keeps me motivated and in the rhythm of cooking.
Have you been working on any recent projects?
Yeah, I've been building a model plane. How about you?
I've been knitting scarves for the winter. Tell me more about your plane.
It's a World War II fighter model. I'm painting it now. What yarn do you use for knitting?
I prefer soft wool. Your plane sounds interesting. What colors are you using?
I'm painting it in classic army green and brown. What's your favorite knitting pattern?
I like making cable knit patterns. How long have you been into model planes?
I started a few months ago. It's a fun hobby. How about knitting? How long have you been doing it?
I've been knitting for years. It's relaxing. What's the most challenging part of building your plane?
Probably getting the tiny details right. What's the toughest knitting project you've done?
Once, I knitted a complex lace shawl. It was challenging but rewarding. What's your favorite thing about model planes?
I love the history and precision involved. What do you enjoy most about knitting?
It's a creative way to make useful things. Do you follow any online tutorials for your plane?
Yes, I watch YouTube videos for tips. How about knitting? Do you use tutorials?
Occasionally, I find them helpful. What's your next step with the model plane?
I'll be adding decals and finishing touches soon. What's your next knitting project?
I plan to make some cozy mittens. What inspired you to start building model planes?
I've always been fascinated by aviation history. How did you get into knitting?
My grandma taught me when I was a child. What's the most exciting part of your project?
Seeing it come together and resemble the real plane. What's the most satisfying part of knitting for you?
Finishing a project and knowing it'll keep someone warm. Do you display your model planes?
Yes, I have a shelf for my completed models. Do you give your knitted items as gifts?
Yes, I often make gifts for friends and family. Have you joined any model plane clubs?
Not yet, but I'm considering it. Do you participate in knitting clubs?
Yes, it's a great way to learn new techniques. What's your dream model plane to build?
I'd love to build a vintage biplane someday. And your dream knitting project?
A large, intricate blanket with various stitches. How long does it take to finish a model plane?
It depends on the complexity, but usually a few weeks. How about knitting a scarf?
It takes a few days to a week, depending on the pattern. Do you have a favorite aircraft model?
The Spitfire has always been a favorite of mine. Do you have a favorite item to knit?
I love knitting cozy sweaters. What's your advice for someone starting with model planes?
Start with a simple kit and take your time. Any knitting tips for beginners?
Practice basic stitches first and be patient with yourself. What's the smallest plane model you've built?
I built a tiny glider once. It was a challenge. What's the smallest knitting project you've done?
Knitting tiny baby booties was quite small and cute. Have you ever flown a model plane?
Yes, it's thrilling to see them soar. Have you taught anyone to knit?
Yes, I taught my niece. What's your favorite part of flying a model plane?
The feeling of control and precision. What's the best thing about teaching knitting?
Passing on a skill that brings joy and warmth.
Do you have any hobbies that change with the seasons?
Yes, I love skiing in winter. What about you?
I enjoy hiking more in the summer. Skiing sounds exciting.
It is. What's your favorite thing about summer hiking?
I love the warm sun and exploring nature. How about winter skiing?
I love the thrill of gliding down the slopes and the snow-covered landscapes. Do you go hiking alone?
No, I often hike with friends. Do you ski alone or with others?
I usually go skiing with my family. It's a great bonding time. What do you like about autumn?
I enjoy the cool weather and the colorful leaves during hikes. How about spring for you?
Spring skiing can be fun with the right conditions. I love the fresh mountain air. What's your least favorite season?
Probably winter, because hiking trails can be icy. And yours?
Summer, it's too hot for skiing. What's your go-to hiking spot?
I like hiking in the nearby national park. Where do you usually ski?
We go to the mountains in the north. It's beautiful there. Do you take photos during your hikes?
Yes, I love capturing the scenic views. Do you take photos while skiing?
Sometimes, but it's a bit tricky with gloves. What's the longest hike you've done?
I once did a 10-mile hike in the summer. How about your longest ski trip?
A week-long skiing vacation in the Alps. It was amazing. What's your winter clothing must-have for hiking?
A warm jacket is essential. What's your must-have for skiing?
Good quality ski goggles to protect my eyes. Do you plan your hikes in advance?
Yes, I check the weather and trails before heading out. How about your skiing trips?
We usually plan them ahead to get good deals on accommodations. What's your favorite trail difficulty level?
I like moderate trails. How about your skiing slopes?
I prefer the intermediate slopes. They offer a good challenge. Have you ever hiked in the rain?
Yes, once or twice. It can be refreshing. Have you skied in heavy snow?
Yes, it's magical, but visibility can be a challenge. What wildlife have you seen while hiking?
I've spotted deer and various birds. How about skiing? Any animal encounters?
Sometimes we see rabbits near the slopes. It's cute. Do you hike with a backpack?
Yes, I carry water and snacks. Do you take anything special for skiing?
I bring hot cocoa in a thermos for breaks. What's your favorite hiking memory?
Hiking to a beautiful waterfall with friends. And your best skiing memory?
Skiing under the stars during a full moon night. It was breathtaking. Have you tried cross-country skiing?
No, but I'm interested. Do you do any snowboarding while skiing?
No, I stick to skiing. Snowboarding seems more challenging. What's your favorite season for photography?
Autumn, the colors are stunning. How about you?
I like winter for capturing snowy landscapes. What camera do you use?
I have a DSLR. It takes great shots. What's your skiing technique?
I prefer alpine skiing. It feels more controlled. Have you ever camped during a hike?
Not yet, but I'd like to try. Do you camp during ski trips?
No, we stay in lodges for skiing. Camping in the snow sounds cold.
Do you belong to any hobby communities?
Yes, I'm part of a gardening club. How about you?
I'm in a local rock climbing group. What do you like about your gardening community?
It's so supportive. We share tips and plant cuttings. How's your rock climbing group?
It's great. We climb together and learn from experienced climbers. What's your favorite gardening project you've seen in your community?
Someone created a beautiful butterfly garden. How about your rock climbing group? Any impressive climbs?
One member completed a challenging multi-pitch climb. It was impressive. What's the most helpful thing you've learned from your gardening community?
I learned about organic pest control methods. How about rock climbing? Any valuable tips?
They taught me about safety and proper gear usage. It's improved my skills a lot. Do you meet fellow gardeners in person from your club?
Yes, we have garden tours and workshops. How about your climbing group? Do you have regular meetups?
Yes, we meet up for climbing sessions and training. It's a lot of fun. Have you made friends through your gardening community?
Yes, I've made a few gardening buddies who share my passion. And in your climbing group?
We're like a tight-knit family now. What's the most unusual gardening project you've seen in your club?
Someone created a vertical succulent garden on their balcony. It was unique. How about climbing? Any unusual routes?
One member did a bouldering route on a natural arch. It was daring and incredible. Have you ever received gardening advice that transformed your skills?
Yes, I learned about companion planting to improve crop yield. What about climbing tips for you?
Learning proper belaying techniques made a big difference in safety. What's the most heartwarming story you've heard from your gardening community?
There was a member who helped a local school set up a garden. It was so heartwarming. How about your climbing group? Any heartwarming moments?
One of our climbers helped a newbie conquer their fear of heights. It was a touching experience. Do you share your gardening projects in the club?
Yes, I often share photos of my garden's progress for feedback. And your climbs, do you showcase them in the group?
Absolutely. We have climbing sessions where we challenge each other on different routes. What's the most challenging gardening project you've attempted with guidance from your community?
Growing exotic orchids was quite challenging due to their specific care needs. And your climbing challenge?
A multi-pitch climb in challenging weather conditions was tough but rewarding. Have you ever participated in a gardening challenge with your club members?
Yes, we had a competition to grow the tallest sunflower once. It was fun. How about your climbing group? Any climbing challenges?
We had a challenge to complete a certain number of climbs in a day. It was physically demanding but exciting. Do you ever collaborate with other gardeners for a project?
Not yet, but it's something I'd like to do, like a community garden project. Do you collaborate on climbing projects in your group?
Yes, we've done group climbing trips to different outdoor locations. It's a fantastic experience. What's your favorite aspect of the gardening community?
The sense of sharing knowledge and the joy of seeing our gardens flourish. How about your climbing group?
I love the support and encouragement we give each other to conquer new heights. What's the most impressive gardening creation you've seen in your community?
Someone designed a lush Japanese-style garden. It was incredibly serene. How about climbing? Any impressive ascents?
One member completed a tough overhang route. It was a remarkable feat. Do you have a gardening mentor or role model in your club?
Yes, there's a seasoned gardener whose work I admire. And in your climbing group, any mentors?
We have an experienced climber who shares valuable techniques. It's really helpful. Have you ever organized a gardening event with your fellow gardeners?
Not yet, but I'd like to organize a plant swap event soon. How about climbing expeditions with your group?
Yes, we've organized trips to climb in different regions. It's a thrilling adventure.
Hi. Do you have any hobbies that involve traveling?
Yes, I love scuba diving. It takes me to incredible underwater destinations. How about you?
I'm into hiking. I've explored beautiful mountains and forests. What's your favorite scuba diving location?
The Great Barrier Reef in Australia. It's a world of colorful marine life. How about your favorite hiking spot?
The Swiss Alps. The scenery is breathtaking up there. Have you ever combined scuba diving with a beach vacation?
Yes, I went to Bali. Diving and relaxing on the beach was perfect. Have you done hiking in any exotic locations?
I hiked in Patagonia, Chile. The landscapes were rugged and stunning. Do you have a scuba diving certification?
Yes, I'm a certified advanced diver. It allows me to explore deeper. Have you taken any hiking courses or workshops?
Yes, I've taken wilderness survival courses. They come in handy on long hikes. What's the most incredible sea creature you've seen while diving?
I once saw a majestic manta ray. It was a surreal experience. Have you encountered any wildlife while hiking?
I once spotted a group of ibex in the mountains. They were so graceful. Do you plan your scuba diving trips well in advance?
Yes, especially for international dives. I need to book dive resorts. How about your hiking adventures? Are they planned or spontaneous?
I plan the major ones in advance, but I enjoy spontaneous day hikes too. What's your favorite memory from a scuba diving trip?
Diving among shipwrecks in the Caribbean. It felt like exploring history. How about your most memorable hiking moment?
Reaching the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. The view was awe-inspiring. Do you have a favorite underwater photography spot?
The Maldives. The crystal clear waters make for amazing photos. What about your favorite hiking photography location?
Probably the Canadian Rockies. The landscapes are photogenic. Do you dive alone or with a group?
I prefer diving with a group for safety and socializing. Do you hike solo or with companions?
I hike with friends or join hiking clubs. It's more fun together. Have you ever tried night diving?
Yes, in the Red Sea. It's a unique experience with different creatures. Have you done any night hikes?
Yes, in the Grand Canyon. The starry sky was incredible. What's your dream scuba diving destination?
I'd love to dive in the Galapagos Islands. How about your dream hiking destination?
I dream of hiking the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. Have you encountered any challenging diving conditions?
Strong currents in the Philippines were tough. It required skill. How about challenging hiking conditions?
Hiking in heavy rain and mud in the Amazon rainforest was challenging. Do you have a favorite scuba diving buddy?
My best friend is my favorite dive buddy. We've had amazing adventures together. And your favorite hiking companion?
I often hike with my brother. We share the same passion for the outdoors. Have you explored any underwater caves?
Yes, in Mexico's cenotes. It's like diving into another world. Have you hiked through any famous trails?
I've hiked part of the Appalachian Trail. It's a classic. Do you collect anything during your scuba dives?
I collect seashells as souvenirs, but I leave everything else in the ocean. How about hiking? Do you collect anything?
I collect small stones or pebbles from different places as mementos. Do you ever plan diving trips around specific marine life migrations?
Yes, like the whale shark migration in the Philippines. It's amazing. How about planning hikes for specific seasons or events?
I plan hikes in the fall for the colorful foliage. It's a beautiful time to be in the mountains. How did you first get into your hobby?
I've always been fascinated by astronomy, and my dad had a telescope. He introduced me to stargazing. How about you?
I got into woodworking when I took a class in high school. Crafting things with my hands became my passion. Did you enjoy stargazing with your dad?
Yes, it was a special way to bond, and I learned so much about the night sky. What inspired you to start woodworking?
I saw a beautifully crafted wooden chair at a friend's house and decided to try making one myself. Do you still stargaze?
Absolutely. I stargaze whenever there's a clear night. It's a peaceful hobby. How about your woodworking? Is it just a hobby or more?
It's still a hobby, but I dream of creating custom furniture professionally someday. What's your favorite celestial object to observe?
I love observing the moon and its phases. It's always changing and beautiful. What's your favorite woodworking project to work on?
I enjoy making wooden sculptures. It allows me to express my creativity. Have you ever tried astrophotography?
Yes, I've dabbled in astrophotography to capture the beauty of the night sky. It's challenging but rewarding. Have you ever showcased your woodworking in an exhibition?
Yes, I've exhibited my wooden sculptures at a local art gallery. It was a proud moment. Do you design your own stargazing sessions?
I plan my stargazing sessions based on celestial events like meteor showers and eclipses. How do you find inspiration for your woodworking projects?
I often draw inspiration from nature and architecture. The world around me fuels my creativity. Have you ever given a stargazing presentation or led a group?
Yes, I've led stargazing events at my local astronomy club. It's great to share knowledge. Have you taught woodworking techniques to friends or family?
I've taught a few friends how to create simple wooden items like shelves. It's a fun skill to share. What's the most memorable feedback you've received for your stargazing?
A young kid once told me that he wants to become an astronaut after attending one of my stargazing sessions. How about your woodworking? Any memorable comments?
A woodworking enthusiast praised the craftsmanship and uniqueness of one of my sculptures. It was very encouraging. What's the first celestial object you observed through a telescope?
The first thing I saw was the moon. It looked so detailed through the telescope. Do you remember the first woodworking project you ever completed?
It was a simple wooden photo frame that I made for my parents. What's the longest stargazing session you've had?
I once stayed up all night to watch a meteor shower. It was worth the sleepless night. How long does it typically take you to complete a woodworking project?
It depends on the complexity, but a small sculpture can take a few days, while a piece of furniture may take weeks. What's your favorite stargazing accessory?
I love using my binoculars for a closer look at celestial objects. Do you have a favorite woodworking tool?
My favorite woodworking tool is my chisel set. It allows for precise carving and shaping. What advice do you have for someone starting with stargazing?
Patience is key in stargazing. Take your time and learn the constellations. And for woodworking?
Start with simple projects, practice your techniques, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. What's your favorite memory related to your hobby?
Watching a total solar eclipse with my dad. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And you?
Crafting a wooden rocking chair for my grandmother and seeing her smile when she used it. It was heartwarming.